Hey everyone, Lefko here, and today we are going to be checking out my top 5 boss battles on the Super Nintendo. The reason behind this list, I was reading an article the other day about a guy that was thinking that boss battles have no place in modern games. I really strongly disagree with that, to be honest. Some of my fondest memories from gaming come from the boss battle section. I've heard numerous arguments it's not realistic, it's not for the modern era. I call BS on both of them. As far as not being realistic, real life has boss battles every day. How many times have you been at work and you would have a disaster happen that you would consider almost like a boss battle? I know I've had many. So, as far as I'm concerned, it's very realistic. As far as that being a good point in games today, once again, I strongly disagree. A game that did not have a great final boss battle is Fallout 3. And to me, at least, I was fairly disappointed by that game just from the boss battle. It was an incredible game, but just from the final boss battle, it was really a letdown. But anyway, let's start this list off.
So you begin here. You've just gotten past the last level of Star Fox. Now you're flying into the final villain's lair in this cool as hell sequence, which I really like. It was really impressive on the Super Nintendo at the time. And then the guy starts taunting you over your comm system, something that you really haven't seen a whole lot of. It starts fairly easy at first, just dodging some projectiles that are kind of extending their way at your screen. And here in a second, our final boss will come to taunt us just a bit more. Also nice of them to give you a few upgrades before the final boss battle. Then you come into, what the heck is this? Boss battle starts off with this giant face attacking you, which is a really unique boss in the original Star Fox game, which is known for its unique bosses, including if you go to a hidden area slot machine. This area is pretty brutal too. He can actually suck you in, chew your ship up, and spit you back out, which really catches you off guard the first time it actually happens to you. Now, dodging all those projectiles he shoots at you is actually easier than what it looks whenever he does that blow move. Here we go again. Have to pull up hard and usually use your boost in order to get away from that suck-in move. And like I said, whenever he blows out all those, we're gonna call them pieces of plywood or something at you, they're actually easier to dodge than what it looks. The part where he tries to suck you in is actually significantly harder. But we're getting ready to blow out the eye sockets here and to unveil the true final boss. I think he may have one more suck-in left in him. There it goes. Now, we do have the advantage in this boss fight of having a fully powered up R-Wing. If I was trying to take him on with just the single laser blaster, this would take significantly longer. There we go. And the face blows up to unveil the Andros cube. You do not want this cube to reform the face. If it reforms the face, you have to go over that entire boss battle again. But you take that out to see the true final boss of Star Fox if you're playing on hard, which is this giant demon-like head that constantly shoots those pieces of plywood at you. This just really shows off the power of the original Super FX chip, which we'll actually be covering another Super FX chip game later on in this top 5. Then finally, we take out the cube. Andros playing cards go flying everywhere. And then, in a almost it feels like a homage to the original Star Wars, you fly out before the base blows up around you. Kind of reminds me of the Millennium Falcon flying out of the Death Star in the. Oh, wait, not in the original Star Wars, I'm sorry, in the third Star Wars movie, Return of the Jedi. It really reminds me of that. But this is definitely my 5th favorite one. So starting out number 4 is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Turtles in Time. Now you see Shredder in this big contraption, you think he's going to attack you with it, but then instead you actually see the battle from Shredder's perspective, which I think is awesome. It's got a multi-tiered attack system where he's got these claws that are coming out at you, plus he's actually targeting you with a gun. Then on top of all that, you got foot soldiers coming in, and these foot soldiers are actually the secret to the battle. You have to grab the foot soldiers and actually throw them into the screen at Shredder. So it was originally just a cool little effect on the Super Nintendo. Actually, it turns into an integral way to fight a bonus battle. Now, I call it a bonus battle because the entire Technodrome stage was not in the original arcade game, which is actually kind of a shame, because I really feel that this particular scene right here is one of the best in the game. It's also one of the reasons why whenever I play Turtles in Time, I don't choose the arcade version. I definitely don't choose that 3D remake that they did. I always go with the Super Nintendo version. Hopefully a few more tosses in here and Shredder will go down. Yep, there we go. I love this effect too, where he jumps up out and into the dimensional transporter thingy. Then he starts taunting you, and the game will continue here in a second, and finally we get into the time traveling of the game. The actual first, I believe, 3 stages have nothing to do with time traveling. It don't even start until after this point. Okay, number 3 is a boss battle from Super Mario World 2 Yoshi's Island. This is the Baby Bowser boss fight. This boss fight is so entertaining. K-Mech begins by mouthing off at you like he usually does, and look at that! That is the cutest form of Bowser I have ever seen. What? Boom! 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 Oh, it's so satisfying to see K-Mech get his rear end handed to him. Green Donkey. Apparently Bowser's a greedy little kid. So you start off by ground pounding the floor, which knocks Bowser off of his feet. Do this a few times, and you've beaten Baby Bowser. Well, gee, that's kind of anticlimactic. Especially whenever Kamek usually makes these guys big. Oh. So we're going to get a giant Bowser boss fight like we have the rest of the boss fights in the game. That should be pretty interesting. Whoa, he got big. I wonder what... He got real big. Wait, what? Oh no, the castle's collapsing around us. Where'd Bowser go? Now around this point you start thinking, as you see this rise in the background, oh crap. The music in this boss battle is so wicked too. I mean, throughout the entirety of this game, you hear this, you know, kind of happy-go-lucky music for the most part. And then, out of nowhere, you get this track that would fit right in with a game like Contra 3: The Alien Wars. This is such a fun boss battle too. Bowser's in the background lobbing fireballs at you. You're trying to get these giant eggs and lob them to nail them in the mouth or somewhere in the face. Now, the entire time he's doing this, he is charging at you in the screen, too. Now, if he gets to the point in the castle to where he's knocking over the ledges you're standing on, it's game over. It's kind of tricky to judge how to throw the eggs at him. It's really the one thing that holds this boss battle back from being a bit further up in the list. Is just because it's really difficult to kind of judge the egg throwing distance, especially after the way you've been throwing them in the early game. As you can see there, that wasn't even close, as he is definitely getting close on this charge. Now I believe this is going to be the last hit here where he's going to do nothing but charge. Nope, maybe it's this one here. But on the very last hit he'll do nothing but charge, so you have to catch him immediately. But then he goes through his epic explosion. And Baby Mario is saved and is able to grow up. Of course, Baby Bowser has to have one little final cameo as well as Kamek. But definitely a satisfying boss battle. Number 2 is Kefka from Final Fantasy III. Now, I've skipped the first part of the battle, which is actually this big tower of enemies that you fight. All these enemies are inside this one tower, and I don't mean inside the tower, I mean is that they actually form the tower, and you actually climb up it battling them all as you eventually get to Kefka. It's this like dark, stormy area, and then you get to the top and you can see the sun gleaming in the clouds as Kefka in the form of an angel comes at you to attack you. Now, I haven't shown the entirety of the boss battle so far. I probably will not for these final two just because they are so long. But once again, going back to Super Mario World 2 Yoshi's Island, the music in this boss battle makes half the battle. They did a killer job on the soundtrack of this boss. And really, another thing that, to be honest, really made it is the journey in this case. Kefka, you've been chasing him since the first part of the game. He manages to destroy the world. You chase after him after he destroys the world. And now that he's done destroying the world, he is now wanting to destroy all of mankind. So you go in after him to finally take him out in his tower, fight your way through his tower, then through his giant tower made of enemies, which I believe is a reference to the 3 statues you find towards the middle of the game. And then he starts dominating you with killer attacks. There's methods of beating him pretty quickly, but you really have to be careful with this guy because he has moves that can knock you out to 1 HP in the snap of a finger. Very intense boss battle, and there's only one better. But believe it or not, it's not even the final boss.
1.
Finally, for number 1, it's going to be the Magis boss battle from Chrono Trigger. I love this build-up, the entirely dark room with the lights that pop on as you approach the final boss. The entire unveiling sequence is absolutely spectacular. The build to this boss is absolutely spectacular. The view of his fortress as you enter it, his generals slowly attacking you as you make your way through it, trying to take on, I believe, 99 henchmen. Which, I'm not sure if it actually is 99 henchmen, but I'll tell you what, it definitely feels like 99 after you're done fighting your way through this fortress. And then finally, you get to Magis here in this dark, evil-looking chapel. And the wildest thing is probably not only the dialogue, which is really some dark dialogue, but also this is easily the hardest boss you have fought in Chrono Trigger up to this point. And this guy has some spells that will just destroy you if you're not very careful. One unique thing that he does is that he'll change his barrier to where only a certain element will damage him, and he'll also cast a second level of that spell against your crew as well. Frog is a must to have the Mass Immune equipped in this battle because it will lower his magic defense. As you can see here, he is just herring up your party here. Then once again he took damage, so he's going to throw out another barrier change. Now he will also throw out barrier changes for elements that are not in your party at the time, which makes it pretty frustrating to say the least. Definitely want to cast Haste in your party members. Now that we've hit him for some big damage, here we go again. Now here's one where with only shadow damage, this party doesn't have shadow magic at all at the time. You can see he can cut down a party member's HP fast. Marl's healing techniques in this battle are a must in order to get through it, because he will tear through your HP very quickly. Now this geyser move is brutal too, because it'll actually sap your hit points over time during the battle. But the build of this battle is incredible, and the battle itself does not disappoint, which is why I've made this my favorite boss battle on the Super Nintendo. I'm interested in hearing your guys' thoughts though, so feel free to comment in the comments below this video, or visit my website at retroreviewrevolution.com and sound off in our forums over there. We've recently done a huge revamp of the website, new themes, new engine running off of WordPress and PHPBB, so I hope you guys come over and check it out. If you've checked it out in the past and decided it wasn't your thing, maybe it is now with the changes we've made, so I invite you all to come over and try it out, sound off, and let me hear your thoughts. Thanks for watching.